What is a Michelin star restaurant and why are top chefs in the world obsessing over these stars to the point where it made a chef like Gordan Ramsay cry like a little baby when he lost 2 of them, as he explained like it was losing his girlfriend and Champions League final at the same time? And why is it that even a food truck can be awarded a Michelin star? And why is a tire company awarding these stars that make or break chefs and their restaurants? Well, no worries, because in today's video, I will be going through the history of the Michelin Tire company, how the Michelin stars are awarded, and lastly, is it worth the experience and the price? So why is the tire company making great chefs like Gordan Ramsay cry? Well, it all started in 1889 where the Michelin brothers Andre and Edouard Michelin had a grand vision to make it in the tire industry, as there were fewer than 3,000 cars in France. In order to help drivers enhance their trips, the Michelin brothers produced a small guide with handy information for travelers such as maps, how to change a tire, where to fill gas, and most importantly, a list of restaurants and places to take shelter. For 2 decades, this information came at no cost until Andre Michelin stumbled across a shop only to see his guide being used to prop up a workbench, and that's when it struck him. Man only respects what he pays for. And that's when he started selling the guides for 7 francs at the time, which comes to $2. And for the first time, it included a list of hotels in Paris and a list of restaurants in specific categories. Acknowledging the growing influence of this restaurant guide in the Michelin guide, the Michelin company hired a lot of mystery diners known as inspectors today to actually go into these restaurants and rate them. In 1926, that's when these mystery diners started awarding shops, but only with 1 star. 5 years later, the hierarchy of 0, 1, 2, and 3 stars were introduced, and in 1936, the criteria for starred restaurants were published. Thanks to this serious and unique approach, the Michelin guide became very popular and unmatched among other competitors. Today, the remarkable foresight of the Michelin brothers made them so relevant until 2022, just as it was in 1900, to the point where their vision was to give driving customers a unique and unforgettable experience like hospitality. When the Michelin guide comes out every year, foodies like me freak out. And just to show you the difficulty it is to get a Michelin star, there were only 100 restaurants in 2016 alone that were awarded 3 Michelin stars. To give you some perspective, according to the webinar blog, there are roughly about 15 million restaurants in 2014 around the world. Now, obviously this isn't accurate, but let's play around with this rough estimate. If there were only 414 restaurants in 2020 that was awarded 2 Michelin stars, then that means your restaurant has a 0.0026% chance of getting such an award, which shows you the amount of difficulty it takes for a chef to get his restaurant rated that high. Do you now have more respect for Gordan Ramsay for being awarded 16 Michelin stars throughout his life, and now he holds 7 stars throughout his restaurants today? With his most signature restaurant in London, the Gordan Ramsay, holding 3 stars since 2001, making it London's longest running 3-star Michelin restaurant? Restaurants that receive a Michelin star for the first time can expect a flood of food tourists, such as myself. Losing a Michelin star devastates restaurants, which explains why Rudy Ramsay from Hell's Kitchen can cry too, because it's as if you're taking all their pride and effort they put in all their life into their restaurants and their craft and work, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. Geez, that explains his anger issues in the kitchen. It's no wonder that he's so serious about these mistakes in the kitchen, because in a Michelin star restaurant, there is no such thing as a mistake, and I'll get to that in 1 second. So why is this system more respected than any other restaurant rating system in the world, and why is this the arbiter of culinary excellence? Here's the answer. It's simply because the Michelin Guide restaurant reviews are known to be elite and have branded themselves and marketed themselves to be this kind of elite company that only tailors to elite people who want an elite experience. The Michelin Man looks like a marshmallow today, but when he was created, cars were toys for the rich, and he looked like a Michelin customer, chomped on a cigar, held a champagne flute, and wore a pince-nez. I don't even know how to say that, but it looks like this guy right here. You may believe in the Yelp model, but most millionaires and world-renowned chefs do not. Only Michelin can afford to send 8 inspectors to a restaurant in a year when deciding whether to give it a 3rd star. Being able to expend resources like that is a huge strength, where foodies such as myself do not have, unfortunately. I myself cannot send 20 people who are as passionate as food like me to different restaurants and have the credibility to rate them, unless maybe I have 100,000 subscribers in the future, help me get there, but I can't do that right now. And lastly, to answer why is a tire company doing this, it's kind of like if Coca-Cola hosted the Oscars. Just having them host the Oscars will increase their sales because they're associating themselves with a whole nother market. So now that we've established why a tire company awards these stars, you may be wondering, how are these stars awarded? What is the criteria? What is the objective analysis that is being taken into place to be giving these restaurants and chefs these Michelin stars? Well, I'm glad you asked. A Michelin star is the ultimate hallmark of culinary excellence. Legendary Michelin inspectors have created this rigorous testing guide to determine whether or not your restaurant deserves a Michelin star. Unlike other rating systems, this is not based on customer reviews, no, but undercover inspections by anonymous mystery guest shoppers. That's how I like it, because that way your restaurant doesn't know who's rating you, and that's why you have to treat every guest the exact same way, and you have to make sure every meal tailors to every single person consistently. Anyone hoping to become a Michelin inspector must be passionate and knowledgeable about food with good attention to detail and the ability to blend with ordinary customers. Michelin stars are awarded solely on the standard of cuisine, so inspectors will not consider things like restaurant decor or ambiance when awarding stars. This is very important to know. The restaurant owners are not told when the inspection will take place, and an inspector may return around 3 to 6 times before reporting back to their fellow inspectors, who then come to a joint decision about whether or not to award the stars. A restaurant can be rated from 0 to 3 stars, and they are awarded to restaurants rather than the individual chefs. So the chefs who run more than one establishment can hold more than 3 stars, just like how Gordan Ramsay holds 7 stars today. The record for most Michelin stars ever belonged to the late Joel Robuchon, who once held an impressive 32 Michelin stars in total. Most restaurants, however, will not meet Michelin standards, and the majority of restaurants inspected are awarded 0 stars. I guess that makes sense considering that there are only 2,160 restaurants with 1 star, giving it a 0.014 chance of being awarded 1 star only. Since the Michelin Guide is extremely secretive about their rating system, they don't reveal any information on how they review these restaurants, but after undergoing further research, here's what I found. Now, there's this narrative that you have to be a fine dining establishment to be awarded these stars, where in fact that's actually wrong. A mere food truck can be awarded a Michelin star because it is based on these 5 criteria. Number 1, using quality ingredients. Number 2, mastering flavors and cooking techniques to blend these flavors. Number 3, showcasing the chef's personality in the cuisine. So maybe Chef Ramsay has a spicy hot meal because that's his personality.
Get real.
Number 4, your value for money. And lastly, the most important trait I would say of all is the overall consistency of the cuisine dish. And that is important because these inspectors come several times in 1 year to the same restaurants, and they will try something different on the menu every time, whether that's an appetizer, a main, or a dessert. And all these courses have to be consistent and perfect. You see how stressful it is to be a chef now? But that's right, none of these criteria have anything to do with your service. You can have the best server in the world and it won't mean anything. Oh yeah, and that includes internal design and ambiance. That doesn't have anything to do with a Michelin star. So let's debunk that right now. Global Foodie magazine Chef's Pencil recently analyzed 450 restaurants, revealing the destinations with the most affordable and expensive Michelin-starred meals. According to its report, the cheapest meals can be found in Thailand, while Denmark is home to the priciest meals. The study broke down the destination in 2 ways, by city and by country, and only looked at restaurants with 2 stars and 3 stars. It surveyed the prices for the top tasting menus, usually about an 8 to 12 course dinner, noting that exact numbers in various countries may be different because some include beverage costs and service charges. Overall, it found that Michelin-starred meals at the 2 restaurant tiers cost on average $276 per person, with 2-star establishments averaging $252 per person, and 3 stars at $357 per person. But don't worry, if you're broke like me, there's still hope. Notable establishments with 1 Michelin star include Hawker Chan, a Singaporean hawker stall that was recognized in 2016 for its delicious street food. The gourmet on a budget can purchase Hawker Chan's award-winning soya chicken and noodles for around $2. That's right, you can visit a Michelin star truck restaurant that serves a meal for $2 and have the same experience in terms of flavor and taste. So don't worry, foodies, there's plenty of restaurants out there we can experience. So taking all these $3 amount per person and averaging out to, let's say, $290 per person, whether it's a 1-star or a 3-star Michelin star restaurant, is it worth it? Honestly, if you really like hospitality experiences and you have a huge foodie obsession in restaurants, I would say try the experience maybe once a year to reward yourself, and I think that would be an amazing experience. But it's not worth it doing it every weekend type of thing, you know? Again, unless I blow up on YouTube somehow and I can be that person that rates Michelin star restaurants, I would love so. But until then, it is not worth it right now. I'm gonna stick to that $2 Michelin star truck restaurant. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to my channel, as it will help me so much with the YouTube algorithm. And I appreciate you as a viewer. Until next time, guys.